Beginners, let's begin. As you will have seen, there are gear sets for everything that you want to do in Lords Mobile, and the more gear you have, the better your gear, the better you do that thing. This here is currently my gathering set, and all of the items here improve my gathering speed and allow me to send fewer troops in order to gather the same resources, with the exception of the 3 ivory chokers, this piece here. The ivory chokers. They're purely there for march speed to help me get faster to the tiles. And you might even use this as an accessory to your war set, whereas you will go for a speed gear while you're marching and then quickly change to your war gear before you hit. But this is a gathering set, okay? And then there are various other sets here. There's a fake gear set. It's war gear that makes me look a bit like a soft target in case I want someone to hit me. There's monster hunting gear. There's familiars gear for training my familiars. And then a mixed gear, infantry, cavalry, ranged. And yes, there is my speed set. So basically for everything you do in Lords Mobile, there is a gear set. Those birds, so noisy. Okay, then there are also talents that go with what you're doing. And broadly speaking, there are only 2 broad types of talents. There's growth talents and there are war talents. And if you want to fight, or if you want to take an attack, you need to be ready to be in war gear and war talents. Now the gear, people can see. They can click on your profile and see what gear you're wearing. So if I go to my mixed war set over here, people will look at this, and if they know the game, they're going to go, oh, that is a mixed set. It's also quite a good mixed set. So now they're not quite sure what to attack me with. And if they attack me, I can go to my watchtower and decide, if I've got time, whether I want to try and counter. So supposing they're sending me a cavalry blast and I'm in this mixed set and I see it's only cavalry coming at me, then I'm quickly going to switch to my ranged set. And I am going to switch my formation so that my ranged is in front. In this case, a ranged phalanx will do very well. If you have a look at the diagram at the top, my ranged is in front. When you defend, you put your counter troop in the front. When you attack, you put your counter troop at the back. It's just quite complicated, but that is something to remember. But at the very least, you need to have your gear and talents. Okay. So let's look at talents. Talents you'll see here at this icon with the shield and the star. You click on that and you'll see there's a button here that says innate talent. Now here you will set up a variety of talents to do different things. And this Dark Nest Rally is one of mine, is irrelevant. I actually need to change it. And I've still got sets that I can set. But broadly to begin with, I would go for an all troops, a mixed war set, and a growth set, and then from there I can look at doing other things. What does the growth set do for me? It improves my construction speed, it improves my research speed, and it improves my training speed. But as you can see, I don't have sufficient points to be full on offense, which is your top attack and defense talent. By the way, you'd never set defense in your war talents, you only set offense. But I mean, there's almost nothing on offense. Everything is on training speed, gathering, over here, gathering, and max load, which means I send fewer troops, and research. So I've got here gathering, research, some construction. I'm not actually that worried about construction, which is why there's not much on here. If you're building, you might want to rather max your construction speed, but then it's going to be at the cost of your gathering most likely, because research speed is important for growth, and troops training is especially important for growth. Now, I've always been an advocate of being troops light, not having millions of troops. But the recent update to Sanctuary does make it actually worth your while to have a lot of troops, because it's less of a problem if you get zeroed. I'm not going to go too much in depth on that now. So that would be a typical growth set. I'm gathering, I'm researching, maybe I'm building, and I'm training troops. But I don't actually have any talents on something else. So if somebody attacks me, I'm not going to give my strongest attack, my strongest defense. And if I want to attack somebody, then I'm also not giving my strongest attack. It's not going to say I'm not going to win, but it's not my best shot. And it means that I'm going to lose more troops in the event of an attack on me, or if I attack something else. So in that case, I would probably look to going to a war set. And the All Troops is probably where you will begin. And as you can see, all the talents have moved over here to the left-hand side of the tree. And there's not much on defense. Defense is not useful in this game. Just remember that if it's gems, if it's gear, if it's talents, defense is not much use. But what you do want is you want offense and you want HP. Those are the two things that you want. So this is a lovely mixed set. You would set it by basically opening everything down to the bottom, maxing your squad health, which is your HP, and then range defense, cavalry offense, infantry offense, the top tiers here, and then working down, putting your talents, and then you're going to run out here towards the tier 1 offense. But that is not a huge train smash. And this immediately improves your stats when you are attacking or defending. Now, let's have a look at what does this do to my my attack stats when I'm wearing the right gear. Now, where do you see stats? You go to your hero and you click on the magnifying glass, and this is really probably confidential information, but let's go there. And as you can see, at the moment I am in growth talents, and I have set my range set just to show you what I would do if cavalry were coming in. Even in my growth set with my gear and my research, I'm hitting 496% on ranged. If I go to my mixed set, I'm going to hit a higher percentage on range. You're looking always where your leader's deployed, unless you lost your leader, in which case, oops, you really nowhere. Look what happens as soon as your leader is not there. My 496% drops to 192% if my leader's not there. That is why, if you're strong enough to take an attack, you don't shelter your leader. You leave your leader out so that you can get that attack. And that is in growth gear. I've got 313 each on cavalry and infantry in my growth gear. Oh, sorry, not growth gear, growth talents. I haven't got growth gear on at the moment. I've got ranged gear, which is why my ranged is so much higher. Now, if I were to change my talents into a war set, and I'm not going to do it because it's going to cost me 90,000 coins. I'm currently gathering. But if I were to now switch to all troops, or one of my specialized cavalry ranged, infantry range, one of those combinations, immediately my stats are going to change, and they're going to move closer to 500% with, or over 500% with the specialized gear set. Remember, I'm currently wearing ranged, and even in your mixed set, it's going to be pretty darn good. You know, I mean, if I switch my mix now, I'm in my mix, so now I've taken a lot off range, but I've put stuff on other things. I'm still in growth talents, so I wouldn't ideally want to fight in these talents. I'd want to go and switch my talents over here by the shield, and then I would decide if I want to go for mixed or if I want to specialize. It is worthwhile exercise once you've got your gear sets to actually just do some dummy runs on what are your stats at different things. But okay, so here I'm still in growth talents, but I have switched to my mixed gear, and immediately you'll see my range has dropped to 371%. My inventory's gone up to 396%, and the cavalry's at 311%, which surprises me. I probably need to do a bit of juggling maybe on my mixed set, just to improve my cav a little bit. Cav does die easily as it is. But yeah, that is a mixed set, and it has immediately changed my statistics. So your gear and your talents depend on what you're going to be doing. If I now switch to a war talent set over here by the star, and I go to innate talent, I choose one of these, I am going to be doing a major boost to the kind of way I can attack and defend my turf and other people's turfs. So before I fight, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight. I'm going to switch to a war talent. I might go to my specialized sets, one of them, just because I'm quite good at them, or I might go for the all troops mix because I don't know what's going to hit. Then I'm going to switch my gear to suit what I'm doing. If you're a growing castle, 9 out of 10 times, you are going to be in growth talents. And that is why you are so easy to zero if you drop shield. Because you just don't have the war talents. Another mistake that a lot of people make is to sleep in growth gear. So, you know, I was busy with research or I was busy hunting monsters, or I was busy with familiars, and I leave myself in this gear and I go to sleep and my shield drops, and immediately my stats are terrible. I mean, we can go and have a look at my stats now that I'm in familiar gear, and it's really not going to be a pretty sight. Magnifying glass. Let's go and see how have we dropped now. Suddenly I'm down to 204%, 210, 24. So I've dropped like 100% attack just by going into familiar gear. So, yes, I use my familiar gear because it's going to boost my familiars. But when I'm finished doing it, I should theoretically at least go and put myself in mixed gear, because that gives me a better chance of defending. And if somebody rallies me, my guildmates can look and go, oh, she's in gear, she's got better stats, it's worth reinforcing her. Whereas if I'm in growth gear, it's really not actually worth reinforcing me. I'm going to die, most likely. So that's talents and gear. You will set them according to what you're going to do. There are no rights and wrongs here, except that you do not want to grow in wall talents and gear, and you do not want to fight in growth talents and gear. So I hope that clarifies things a little bit.